Hi guys, and welcome to the Sunderland vs Peterborough match review. Now, of course, Sunderland have just beaten Peterborough at the Stadium Light by 1-0, thanks to a Grant Ledbetter penalty late on in the game. But we'll get into the review. So, of course, Sunderland did start the game with a couple of changes here and there. We had a Burge goal. We had the usual backline of the solid three with Flanagan, Bailey Wright and Willis. Right wing back, we did have Luke O'Nien. Left wing back, we had Denver Hume. In the middle, we did have to make a couple of little changes. We had Ledbetter, who of course did start against Oxford the weekend prior, which was fine. Of course, Power, he did pick up an knock, so he did not. He was not involved in the game. Scowen finally gets himself a game. He looked brilliant throughout the game, but we'll get onto that later on. So it was Ledbetter and Scowen in the centre. Then up top, we had Charlie Wyke. We had Lyndon Gooch and also Chris Maguire. So we get into the game, and of course, even beforehand, I had said prior on social media and on YouTube as well, I think that Peterborough, I think they're going to be right up there. I do think they're going to win the league. That is what my genuine thoughts are. I think their attacking threats, as we have seen throughout the 90 minutes of today, it's ridiculous. The pace, the skill they have is very, very threatening in comparison to a lot of other teams in the league. But I think for the opening sort of 10-15 minutes of the game, it was mainly all Peterborough. They were getting right at us, and Dembele in particular was tearing us a new one, absolutely tearing us apart. There was very little that our defenders could do with his sort of skill level, how direct he is with his running and his pace in general, because he had a lot of quick plays, in their final third, like Smodics as well, Harris as well, with the likes of Dembele. It was always going to be a difficult task, regardless of how good you think our backline is. But we managed to keep them out. We made a few chances of our own. It was a very scrappy first half, but we did make some chances of our own. I think Ledbetter and Scowen actually worked quite well together in that first half, although it wasn't a pretty sight. It was a poor first half, but I think they did work very hard. There was some great challenges by both Ledbetter and Scowen. Scowen, I think, was a little bit unfairly booked very early on. It was quite not a bad challenge, but a cynical one in the sense that Dembele, if he weren't brought down, he was kind of bringing the ball towards the left-hand side, coming from the centre towards the left-hand side, and Scowen come across. But the thing that annoys me is that Flanagan kind of sandwiched him along with Scowen. If anything, I think the final contact was from Flanagan, but it was Scowen who found himself in the book. I don't think it was Scowen who made that original challenge. But as I say, throughout the first half, it was very scrappy. We made our own chances. They made their own chances. But I think overall, particularly in the first half, I say particularly the first half, but the second as well, and throughout the game, the one frustration, although it's a great result, is when we win the ball or intercept the ball, we're so slow and we're so pedestrian at bringing it forward. Whereas when Peterborough, regardless of where they are on the pitch, the second they win the ball back, it's get men forward, go, go, go type thing. That was their drill. That was their system throughout the game. It was run at them. The second you win the ball back, get them quickly. Whereas with us, it was sort of get the ball, hold it, calm the play down, which as the home team, that is not what you want to see. And luckily we managed to get away with it today. But we did go into half-time at 0-0. And again, it was even, you might say that, Peterborough could have gone into the half-time interval in front. But at the same time, I think we actually defended very, very well. Players like Flanagan, Bailey Wright, and Willis as well, they dealt brilliantly with everything that was thrown at them. That, like I said earlier, that there's certain times that you really can't have a go at your defender because it's just pure quality that's done them, particularly Dembele, because I think Dembele is a very, very good player and could easily play in the Championship, in my opinion. But the second half is underway, and I think we started relatively well. We did make chances, and we started to take a bit of ownership over the game. But as the game went on, although we did make chances, it was almost like the team looked as if they were settling for a draw, which was very frustrating. We were sitting back and we were asking Peterborough to come forward. They were making chances, some very, very good chances. One of them being a free kick which hit the bar. Again, there was balls being pinged into the box, but we were dealing with them. So credit to our back line. Maguire, I did forget to mention, he did come off in the sort of latter stages of the first half. So O'Brien did come on, and I think he did all right. O'Brien, he come on. Graham eventually did come on towards the latter stages as well. And it got to the point where there was the 60-70 minute mark where I thought we're just asking to concede here. because we started to sit back. We were allowing them all the space in the world at the stadium light as well, which was the most annoying thing. But on one of our breaks, we did manage to break away. Denver Hume brings it down the left-hand side, cuts inside as he does. I think his second touch is really heavy, and he does kind of clatter and clash a little bit with the Peterborough defender. And is it a penalty? It's very 50-50, but for me, I wouldn't have been too annoyed if it wasn't given, because it was so 50-50, and it was relatively soft as well. I think Denver Hume just overhit his touch a little bit. But either way, of course, I'm not going to complain. The referee was absolute garbage all day, and a lot of the time it was in Peterborough's favour. So I was quite happy that sort of 50-50 challenge did go in our favour. And of course, Grant Ledbetter, of all players, I was so happy that he scored it. He's buried it in the bottom left-hand corner. The keeper went the right way, to be fair, but it was 2-inch perfect. It's gone right in the bottom left-hand corner to make it 1-0. And from there on, it was literally a case of time wasting, which again was a little bit frustrating, because there were a couple of chances and a couple of times where, even though we were generally sitting back, there was a couple of times, or maybe 2, 3, 4 times, where we would gain possession, and at times it was like 3-on-2, but we were so insistent on time wasting, and it was just tin pot tactics, which I hate. You know, there was times where we drive forward and we have likes of like Hume, Graham, and O'Brien up against 2, and then we're insisting on driving it towards the corner flag. When I'm just thinking, finish the game off. We're at home. Do you know what I mean? Which again is very frustrating. But the latter stage of the game, you know, it was certainly nail biting. It was all Peterborough. They threw everything at us, shot after shot, chance after chance, and luckily it just didn't fall for them, and the game finished and it was 1-0. So all in all, I know this is a relatively quick review, but all in all, it's an absolutely massive result, huge, considering the opposition that we're up against. We've beat Oxford, who are going to be up there. We beat them last weekend. We've beat Peterborough, who I believe will definitely be up there and possibly winning the league. We've just beat them as well by 1-0. And considering we did have a couple of injuries, obviously an injury and a suspension directly in the middle of the park and heartbeat at the side, I think Ledbetter and Scowen were very, very good. Very good. A couple of, sort of decision-making decisions that both Scowen and Ledbetter made at times were a bit questionable. But I think generally they worked quite well together. Scowen was very quick in the challenge, but in a good way. Ledbetter as well. I don't know what it is with Ledbetter over the last couple of games. He's been very, very good. Usually Ledbetter is someone who I've slated for being a bit too easy to get past, but he made so many good challenges, clearances, and he would calm the player down, and he was very, very good at that. And Scowen, again, being very quick and pacey, which is something we don't have in the midfield, which is so frustrating. Why Parkhurst don't play him every week, because I think Scowen is our best central midfielder. But of course, that is only my opinion. But even so, it's a really, really good result, a brilliant result. I think this will just instill a massive amount of confidence within the lads, and I'm absolutely buzzing. I really am absolutely buzzing, and I'm definitely going to have a few beers after this video. So my man of the match, I'm going to give it to Grant Ledbetter, purely because he did play very well. I think he'd probably give a good 7 or 8 out of 10 performance, but the goal in itself, and you couldn't have picked a better person to score that goal, and he deserves it 1,000% with everything he's been through, and then actually coming back this season after there's been a lot of people, including myself at times, writing him off a little bit, and he's put in some quality performances over the last couple of games. So 100% Ledbetter for me to be the man of the match. But yeah, huge 3 points against and 6 points in total against 2 of the bigger teams, or the teams that I predict to be up there and thereabouts. But that'll be it, guys. It's a really quick one today, kind of, I guess. But I'm going to get back to drinking, if anything, to celebrate. So you guys let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of the game? Who was your man of the match and all that kind of nonsense? But let me know in the comments. But if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button for me. It'd be massively, massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already, to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.